I absolutely love it. So I'm very excited to show you how to use it. So first of all, I can mention you go to OpenAI. So and I'll show you later in Google, but you just search for OpenAI, or you can even search for ChatGPT. And this is the desktop version. You're going to find a place when you sign up. This is if you have not created your account. Then in the process of signing up, they even tell you what's happening. So they tell you that conversations may be reviewed by the AI trainers to improve the system. So talking about data collection, and they tell you, please do not share any sensitive information in your conversations. Then the next thing when you click next is going to tell you that the system is optimized for dialogue. So just like when you are hiring a personal assistant, when you hire a new person, you just don't hire a new person and just let it go out in the wild. You give that person feedback. The exact same thing here. And then they have Discord, which is something like Slack, is another chat platform where if you want to talk specifically with someone at OpenAI, you can do it through there. So that's how you do it. And then once you're all set up, you have fun. Whenever you are talking with it, when you're having conversations, just think about it as if you're talking with a new hire. So somebody that just came into your team. When that happens, it's up to you, up to the boss, to give proper prompts, proper directions, so that the new hire knows what to do. The same thing here. If you don't give good directions, then it's going to give you a bad input. And this is another great thing, in my opinion, about starting to use a tool like this, because this is going to force us to be better at asking questions. And asking questions is an extremely important skill that every human being should have, especially in the professional world. And I think if you want to take full advantage of ChatGPT, you have to become better at being very clear with your prompts. And therefore, I think that also is going to help you in your day-to-day life to be more clear on your conversations and to be more specific on what type of outcomes you want. So how do you communicate with it? I mentioned it briefly before. It's called prompts. And prompts, you can think about it as directions, questions, descriptions, instructions, whatever it is that you want to talk to it to give you the answers that you're looking for. The more specific you are with your prompt, the better. Let me show you an example. So this is a prompt here, and this is Sam is another person that I read some of his ebooks and guides. So this is an example of a very general prompt. What are some museums I can visit in Madrid? And ChatGPT gives you this, a list of museums. Then the example about being very specific, here is another example of a prompt where it's saying, I want you to act as a travel guide. I'm going to give you my direction, and I need you to suggest places to visit near that location. And you give more details, right? And then when you give more detail, this is something that you get. You get like, hey, great, I'm your travel guide. I would recommend doing X, Y, and Z. And for example, here is mentioning the Dali Museum and different museums that maybe didn't show up in this one. So I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying that the more specific you are with something that you're looking for, the more specific answers you're going to get. So how can you improve those prompts? So I have this, you can maybe think about an R.A.T.O, maybe so it's easier to remember. R stands for a role. So you always should give ChatGPT a role. Example, you're an Instagram influencer, or you're a working mom, or you're a business owner, whatever thing you have in mind. So give the specification of that role. The A stands for the audience. So usually you go here because you need some type of communication to someone else, right? So your audience is busy business decision makers in the technology world, whatever it is. In this case, for example, women 30 plus who live in Chicago. I live in Chicago right now, and I'm 35, so I want to meet people around my age. Or for example, here, this is the T stands for the task. So here is where you can be very specific about the task that you want. So in this case, I'm saying, hey, I want you to write an Instagram post, and the brackets means different things that you can tell. So you can describe challenges or benefits or product features or promotions or anything that you want to communicate. So you want to describe what that is. In this case, I also want to have a call to action. I want people to attend Women Who Market Day, or or maybe you are a busy mom that is throwing a party for your 10-year-old kid, and you want everybody to come on Saturday at X amount of time to your house. So you can write these things if you want to write like an invitation for your son's birthday party. And then the O stands for the output. This is something very important that I learned like a month or two ago, and is game changer. Because here you can be extremely specific. You can say, I want it to be X amount of words in this example. I want to post less than 50 words. Please add emojis. Please add hashtags. You could also tell it to create a table, like an Excel table. So here is this information. Please present the information in a table format. You can tell it, please provide the information in bullet points, or even if you're a coder or you like coding, or you're learning about code, you can even say, hey, I have this problem. Can you please give me the HTML code for changing the color in my website? Who knows, right? And I'm sure that it can even give you in different languages, of course, even in languages. So I sometimes write everything in English, the prompt, and I say, please give the answer in Spanish. And then it will give you the answer in Spanish. So just think about these things. The better your prompts are, the better outcomes you get. Role, audience, task, and output. Here is the other tool that I told you that I signed up for a webinar for. It's called Learned Worlds. And they mainly concentrate in course creation. So they are an education platform. I like that area, so that's why I follow them. And they have put a lot of webinars about ChatGPT and how it can help you to create online courses. So they have a framework about 9 steps that you should include in your prompts. It doesn't mean that you have to use all of them, but again, it just gives you ideas on how much you can improve them. So for example, what I told you about defining step number 1, defining your expertise and role, being very specific with your audience, defining the task, which is what we were talking about, setting the learning method. This one is very good as well. So in education, there are different frameworks or methods to teach. So you can literally say, please provide a lesson about biology using X type of model, and it will give you the information. In marketing, we also have a lot of frameworks and methods like the SWOT analysis, the TOES. So you can actually say, hey, here's this information, please create a SWOT analysis. In writing, there are different methods to engage with people. So we can say, hey, please write this and use this method to catch people's attention. So it actually understands models, frameworks, and it gives you the information like that. Of course, you need to know the models and the frameworks that you want to ask, but it's something very neat. Enhancing the context, the more information you give, the better. Any other extra information, it wouldn't hurt. Step number 7 is actually pretty cool, especially if we have any marketers in the house today. You know that in marketing, it's extremely important to define a tone of voice or a style whenever you're communicating. So we are an agency, we're actually a global agency. We have clients in Europe, in Canada, South America, and here in the US, and mainly in technology, but it's still, everybody has a very specific tone of voice. They like to communicate, some in a friendly way, some in a very technological way. So it's been really neat because I actually tell the platform, hey, please revise the blog post with this tone of voice. Also, if you want to get creative, it can also pick up styles of voice based on people. So if you want to sound more like Steve Jobs, like Obama, like Oprah, like Dora the Exploradora, whatever it is, you can actually tell it, hey, please write this post with like if Steve Jobs is writing it. So that one is pretty cool as well. What I was telling you about setting up the format or the output, which is telling it even data points, tables, bullet points, whatever you want. And then the last one, it's also very important, which is validating your prompt. So you could actually say, please rewrite the prompts, or please provide a better answer. Or you can even say, convince me that the information that you provided is correct. And that actually helps enhance the answers that it gives you.